From the Cronkite studios in downtown Phoenix, this is Cronkite News.
An Arizona legislator highlights the importance of NAFTA on the local economy. House Senator Jeff Flake plans to influence D.C.'s decision in renegotiating NAFTA.
Valley drivers will soon have more ways to follow up with rush hour traffic. What ADOT is doing to help drivers plan ahead for heavy traffic.
Pain pill addiction is a serious matter here in the Valley. How new technology can save so many lives.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Blakely McHugh.
And I'm Madison Connor. Thank you for joining us. It is getting hot out there, 101 today, and even higher temperatures expected this weekend. And with that in mind, City of Phoenix officials are gearing up to open water cooling stations around the valley. The stations provide access to water as well as a place to cool down during the summer months, especially for the elderly and those who may not have a cool place to go. And if you would like to help, there's a need for donations of both water and time.
This is the beginning, but we need to fill this room and many rooms like it over and over and over all through the summer. So this is a great time to do your summer volunteerism, your summer volunteering. Water is perhaps the most essential thing we can do to help our neighbors.
There are more than 20 water cooling locations around the valley. Our Cronkite News digital team has produced an interactive map. To check it out, visit cronkitenews.azpbs.org. You can also find information if you would like to help by donating funds or bottled water.
Senator Jeff Flake launched a campaign today to highlight NAFTA's positive impact in Arizona. NAFTA for AZ will gather individual stories from Arizona residents on how NAFTA has created opportunities for job development and economic growth.
I look forward to working with you to gather comments and personal experiences, as well as recommendations that will be essential as the debate over NAFTA and its future unfolds.
Senator Flake says he believes personal stories will help influence the administration in D.C. as they renegotiate the trade agreement with Mexico and Canada. Flake says trade with Mexico provides over 100,000 jobs in Arizona.
President Trump is expected to withdraw the U.S. from the Paris Climate Agreement. International partners would be isolated from the United States in this project. The agreement was established at the 2015 Paris Climate Conference. 147 countries ratified the agreement. Its goal? To limit the global temperature increase to under 2 degrees Celsius. The countries are expected to complete emissions assessments every 5 years, and by 2020, countries must establish at least $100 billion in climate-related financing. The withdrawal would contradict the Obama administration's efforts on minimizing climate change.
The Arizona Department of Transportation is in the midst of an improvement project that should help them and drivers on the road. Cronkite News reporter Tyler Finger is in the broadcast center with what ADOT is doing. Tyler?
ADOT is installing new sensors along portions of several valley highways that will track traffic flow. While these types of devices aren't new to Arizona's highway system, these sensors could be welcome news for drivers. Tonight on Valley Freeways, traffic.
I retired in 2003, and one of the greatest pleasures is not having to commute during rush hour.
It takes too long to get where you're going. It's just bad.
ADOT is in the middle of installing new sensors that they hope could eventually fix some of those traffic troubles drivers see when on the road.
It helps us keep the traffic moving and then also look ahead using that data to make decisions about what are the best candidate locations, say, for widening or adding extra lanes.
Doug Ninsel says these sensors, along with other technology, provide a lot of value to ADOT by helping spot trouble spots on the road as quickly as possible.
Because we have the sensors in the pavement, we're able to really judge what is going on there as far as the conditions.
But ADOT says drivers will also see a benefit from these sensors.
We're able to utilize the data on traffic flow, and the computers translate that into the travel times that you wind up seeing.
Drivers say the travel time signs are helpful.
When I have to go to work and be there on time, that helps.
They seem to be accurate when I'm driving. Accurate if you're going to speed limit. If you're going above the speed limit, you actually do better time.
ADOT told me today that the installation work is almost done. All that's left is portions of I-17 in Phoenix, which they say should be done by the end of the month. Live in the broadcast center, Tyler Finger, Cronkite News.
An update to a story we brought you yesterday: federal funding for Route 66 is set to expire in 2 years. But now, a New Mexico congresswoman is offering her official support for a bill that's preserving funding for the historic road. Representative Michelle Grisham will co-sponsor the bipartisan bill which designates Route 66 as a National Historic Trail and sets aside money for every year for preservation.
Pima County received over $1 million in federal grants today that will help high school students prepare for college. The grant benefits Upward Bound, the federal program that helps students from low-income families. The program helps high school students with tutoring, career counseling, and college workshops. The University of Arizona is also part of the program and received a $2,800 grant.
The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is offering public tours of one of its newest temples in Tucson. Only members of the church in good standing are usually allowed in the temples. But starting this Saturday, the public gets to see what's inside. The temple will fit 30,000 Mormons and is over 38,000 square feet. The church says the temple has already received 85,000 reservations for viewing. Anyone interested in the tour can make reservations online until June 24th.
And the school year is wrapping up, but kids in Tucson Unified School Districts can stop by certain schools for free meals over the summer. Kids between ages 2 and 18 can eat breakfast or lunch for free. District officials says this is the largest summer meal program in Arizona. Last year, the program fed thousands of kids at 58 different schools and nearby locations.
The U.S. faces a major opioid epidemic, according to Arizona Criminal Justice Commission. Our state has the 12th highest drug overdose mortality rate in the nation. Emily Bloom tells us about a new technology that helps with medication dosing.
According to the Arizona Criminal Justice Commission, there were enough prescription pain relievers dispensed last year to medicate every adult in Arizona around the clock for 2 weeks straight.
It's like a stopwatch for your prescription bottle.
Pharmacy supervisor Han Wynn is always looking for a way to curtail the opioid epidemic.
Once you place the cap on, the timer starts.
It's called a timer cap. Designed to more accurately calculate the time in between dosages, Timer Cap CEO Larry Torsky was inspired to create this device after watching his own mom face an opioid epidemic.
When 20 minutes can seem like 2 hours when you're in pain, and 2 hours can seem like a lifetime, you gotta have a tool that helps you understand that the interval's not getting too short.
It's the difference between guessing and knowing when you last took your prescription.
I think what leads to addiction is when the patient is taking it outside what is prescribed.
Wynn says this tool can help patients know when exactly to take their medication.
It just drives awareness.
The timer cap can also detect and stop unwanted openings.
This is not a solution to our addiction problem. This is just a tool to help us keep track of our medications.
And hopefully cut back on unintentional addictions. In Phoenix, Emily Bloom, Cronkite News.
Tversky and his team also have products coming out in the pipeline that lock and require a thumbprint to open them up. Cronkite News is dedicated to covering the opioid crisis in Arizona and nationwide. Our documentary, Hooked RX, From Prescription to Addiction, highlighted the problem of painkillers here in our state. You can watch the documentary and find resources for getting help online at hookedrx.com.
Millions of students across the nation have been competing for their spot in the National Spelling Bee competition.
This week, hundreds of spellers are in Washington, D.C., hoping to win the championship, including 2 local students. Coming up on Cronkite News, how a Gilbert 8th grader hopes to spell her way to victory.
Plus, a new study shows how a growing valley trend helps shelter animals find new homes.
Heaven knows you're a dreamer. Don't hide it from anyone. Don't hide it from anyone. Hey, would you believe me if I said we are here for a reason now? This is our life. This is what counts. This is for us. I will go anywhere for you. about now.
It's a national competition with 2 days of tension and drama that airs on ESPN. But it's not your typical sporting event, as Cronkite News reporter Noelle Lilly tells us from our Washington bureau.
291 young spellers from all around the country, including girls from Glendale and Fort Defiance, took the stage at the Gaylord Convention Center outside Washington today for the chance to be the National Spelling Bee champion. They faced butterflies and some tough words.
Turpentine, parvitude, infundibuliform, whambanger. These are just a few of the words that challenged kids today at the 90th Scripps National Spelling Bee, including first-time Arizona contestants Kelly Haben and Pinda Baugh.
I was so happy. I was really happy to make it.
This is Kelly's first time at the National Bee, but not her first competition. She finished second in last year's Navajo Nation Spelling Bee. Kelly talked about what goes through her head when she's spelling a word.
Okay, if I don't know the word, I'm like, okay, I'll just guess this. If it's from French, it's probably going to be really tricky. Just spell the word the way it sounds, because usually that's how it is.
She's been at it since first grade.
I had a speech impediment years before, and so they put me in language arts and on reading, and I was really good in that. So my teacher asked me if I wanted to join the spelling bee.
Kelly's mother, Dina, explained how much her daughter's success means to other Navajo children.
I think she's inspired so many kids already because she's a Navajo girl, that she's so young, number one, and also that she's Navajo, that the other kids look to her and think, I could do that one day.
Pinda was feeling a wide range of emotions at the bee.
I was surprised, excited, nervous. It was a kind of a mixed bag.
She says she really loves the variety in spelling.
I kind of like how there's only 26 letters in the alphabet, and there's like millions and millions and millions of ways they're arranged.
She successfully arranged the letters in Skillikit to advance to the second round, exiting in the first round today when she misspelled Spessartine.
My mind went blank. It was a lot of, it's a good thing I didn't look out in the crowd. I was thinking, wow, I don't even know this word. I was like, I know this word, I know I've seen it before, I just can't picture it in my head.
Her brother, a fellow speller, comforted her after the loss.
He's like, it's good, you've done so much to get here. And when we walk, you need to have your head held high.
Pinda said she's confident going into the second round.
So I was kind of thinking, maybe I don't know these words as well. But then when it came closer to my turn, I started to think, every single word that's been said, I know all of them, and I think I'm good.
We just learned that Pinda survived the third round and will be moving on to the final round tomorrow. The finals will be aired live on ESPN on Thursday. In Washington, Noelle Lilly, Cronkite News.
An Arizona State University study is shedding light on the impact slumber party programs may have on shelter pets. Cronkite News reporter Mia Maslar went to the Arizona Animal Welfare League to find out why animals' personalities shine outside of the kennel.
The Arizona Animal Welfare League is home to dogs of all sizes ready to be adopted. Michael Moorfield has been with the shelter for 3 years. He says the shelter's slumber party program is increasing its adoption rate. Volunteers can take dogs like Monet home for 3 days. In that time, special bonds can form.
But we've also seen slumber parties lasting less than 24 hours. People will come in and say, I don't need 3 days to decide that I want to adopt this dog. I want to adopt this dog right now.
Lead ASU researcher Lisa Gunter looked at how one night away from a shelter impacted animal welfare by measuring a stress hormone in their urine.
So from there, we're just looking at the differences between the day before they go to that time when they were just finishing their sleepover to that next day.
And researchers saw the dog's stress level significantly reduced.
The Arizona Animal Welfare League says about 3/4 of the pets who go through the slumber party program are adopted. For those that make their way back, they find out things about them, like personality traits they may not see while they're in the kennels.
By asking volunteers to take notes during the sleepover, the shelter learns about the animal's personality traits outside of the kennel.
We also learn really quirky things about them, like Luna loves cats, or Big Bertha steals couches.
We've moved to the point that not only are we adopting out dogs, but now we're caring about how they're feeling in the shelter before they find their homes.
Gunter says there will be more studies across the country, including right here in the Valley. In Phoenix, Mia Mazlar, Cronkite News.
Gunter says dogs will wear activity monitors in later studies to better contextualize the ups and downs in their stress levels. Researchers are heading to more shelters in Montana, Atlanta, and Texas this year. Spring and early summer is the peak season for severe weather.
With the monsoon season around the corner, the Valley prepares for any possible rainstorms ahead. Coming up on Cronkite News, what public officials had to say about the dust storms to come.
It's a beautiful day out today, but temperatures are expected to rise in the next couple of days. Your 7-day forecast is coming up.
I'm Scott Pelley, anchor and managing editor of the CBS Evening News. In our changing media landscape, it is crucial for journalism education to ensure a commitment to the truth, unbiased reporting, strong ethics, unwavering fairness, and above all else, accuracy. These are the hallmarks of ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication. It's a place where students can innovate and transform the news industry while always upholding the values of the school's namesake. The Cronkite School at ASU, preparing the next generation for a stronger future of journalism.
Discover so much more at azpbs.org/schedule, where it's easier than ever to find out what's on Arizona PBS. Access interactive digital and printable program guides, repeat times, and full episode descriptions. Watch program previews of best bets for the coming week. Search by title to find your favorite shows. You can even add programs to your calendar and get email reminders when they're about to start. It's easier than ever to find out what's on Arizona PBS. Discover so much more at azpbs.org/schedule. When you want to be more connected, friend us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, watch us online.
Officially from 36, and he hooks it in! Arizona State wins! Keeping one deep, and it is caught! Jalen Strong! Do you
believe it? What are you doing?
Possibilities. Your day is filled with them.
Reach up, energy in the fingertips, collapse.
TV played Downton Abbey.
And PBS helps everyone discover theirs. Anytime, anywhere.
Up in the sky, you can see it.
PBS, we're with you for life.
The Gila County Sheriff's Office has lifted pre-evacuation notices for residents in South Globe. Firefighters are making progress in containing a lightning-caused fire in the Pinal Mountains. The fire began May 8th in the Tonto National Forest and burned a total of 11.2 square miles. At this time, it's about 70% contained.
We're about 2 weeks out from the start of the monsoon season, but already cities are working on their plans for when those storms hit. Monsoon storms can bring wind, dust, rain, and even hail. The season starts on June 15th and runs through September 30th. Phoenix officials want residents to be ready for anything. That's why they held this strategy session, where utility companies, city officials, and emergency personnel discussed prevention tips for homeowners, including disaster preparedness for floods, high winds, and storm damage.
Sustainability and monsoon awareness go hand in hand. Fundamentally, sustainability is about providing opportunity, choice, and more for our citizens. So by actually providing tools, knowledge, and a motivating factor to our citizens, our government, and all of our partner agencies, we can actually ensure that monsoon season is safe, that we're all prepared, and that we can withstand the consequences from it.
And weeks before monsoon season reaches the valley, temperatures are already hitting the triple digits. Blakely McHugh tells us what we can expect for this week's forecast.
And it's 101 degrees out right now. It's a little hot, but it's a little bit, got the calm winds going, so it feels good out there. And our average temperature at this time is about 100 degrees, so we're right around that average. It was 109 in 2012. I'm really thankful it's not that hot out right now. And if you want to see beautiful Arizona sunsets, head outside around 7:30. Taking a look at the temperatures around the valley, 100 degrees in Phoenix, 99 in Scottsdale and Glendale, and also 100 in Chandler. We're seeing those numbers pick up as the day goes on. Looking at the degrees across Arizona, we got 58 in Grand Canyon, 97 in Havasu, and 98 in Tucson. Going on to the 7-day forecast, we're going to be in the 90s coming up and heading into the 100 digits Monday and Tuesday. Blakely McHugh, Cronkite Weather.
Turtles are known for walking slowly, but many of them are making their way to the zoo pretty quickly. Coming up on Cronkite News, why relocating turtles at the zoo is having a negative impact on their environment.
Finally found my hallelujah. I've been waiting for this moment all my life. Now all my dreams are coming true. Yeah, I've been waiting for this moment. It's good to be alive right about now. Found my it's good to be alive right about now.
Officially from 36, and he hooks it in. Arizona State wins. Keeping one deep, and it is caught. Jalen Strong. Do you believe Officially from 36, and he hooks it in. Arizona State wins. Keeping one deep, and it is caught. Jalen Strong. Do you believe
it? When visiting the Phoenix Zoo, you may assume that the animals you see there belong there, but that isn't always the case. I checked out the zoo to see how they are dealing with these unwanted visitors. The Phoenix Zoo has been experiencing some unwelcome visitors to the park, and it is coming from the water. Non-native turtles have been invading the moat outside the zoo since 1999, and it is taking a toll on the inhabitants that are supposed to be in the lagoon. Arizona Game and Fish Turtles Project Coordinator Christina Jones says the non-native turtles are outcompeting the other species in resources.
But it affects our native aquatic species. So we've got fishes, and we have native turtles, which in this area should be the Sonora mud turtle. Those animals should be abundant throughout the system, but because of all of the non-native pond sliders and various other non-native turtle species, it simply outcompetes, so it takes away the space that the native turtles would need for nesting and also their resources.
Because of this competition, only 2 out of the 882 turtles caught since 1999 have been the native Sonoran mud turtle. After the non-native turtles are captured, the male turtles are marked and placed back into the water, and the female turtles are sent to the Turtle and Tortoise Preservation Group to prepare for adoption. The turtle conservation effort happens once a year here at the Phoenix Zoo, always leading up to World Turtle Day on May 23rd. The Phoenix Zoo and Arizona Game and Fish hold this event to try and prevent future turtle dumping, as well as educating the public on a proper way to rehome a pet you can no longer care for. This year alone, Arizona Game and Fish and the Phoenix Zoo caught 118 turtles. 93 were new and 25 had been captured previously. If you're interested in adopting a turtle, contact the Turtle and Tortoise Preservation Group.
Cronkite News is proud to be the news division of Arizona PBS. Here's what's coming up on Arizona Horizon and PBS NewsHour.
On the next Arizona Horizon, we'll check out plans for what was Fiesta Mall in Mesa. And we'll hear about a lawsuit over the president's proposed border wall on grounds of harm to the environment and cultural areas.
I'm Judy Woodruff on the next NewsHour, part 2 in our series on the best ways to treat and care for premature babies. That's Wednesday on the PBS NewsHour.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us.
For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.